So I had a friend of mine post a thing. He basically said that the stress levels are high everywhere right now. Um, the black community feels very very upset that a black man was injured. The white community feels very upset that they're being called racist. That all of them are being called racist. The police community is feeling upset that they're being attacked because they're all evil. The business owners are feeling bad or feeling upset because it's their businesses that are getting attacked. The government is on high stress alert because they're saying all government is bad, all government politicians are bad. So why don't we just all like chill out for a minute? Why don't we come up with a plan for peace, and why don't we try to put that in place? Good sentiment, right? I mean, he's portraying a lot of understanding. He's portraying a lot of understanding for all sides. And what I watched was he got attacked. You know why he got attacked? He got attacked because he was a white dude. He immediately got attacked saying that, well, that sounds white privileged. Who gives a shit? The fact that he's white should have no bearing on what he actually said. What he said was peace and understanding. I think that's a little bit crazy to think that his voice should be silenced because he's a white man, that his opinion doesn't matter because he's a white man. And that was the comment I made. He was actually he felt forced to actually take that post down. But because of it, I thought that was horrible. I didn't think he should take that post down. I thought he should have deleted the racists who were calling him a white privileged male and saying that his opinion doesn't matter. That's where I'm at on it. I think his opinion matters just as much as a white male. I actually don't think the fact that he's a white male has anything to do with it. And here's the interesting thing. So, a good friend of mine, John, well, not good friend, but a friend. We haven't known each other that long. That's the only reason I say we're not good friends. But a friend of mine, John Anthony, I guess he was down at one of the protests, and he said he heard clearly people talking about text messages they were getting, telling them that white nationalists, that Nazis were on the way, that racists were on the way. It was intentionally coming out. There were no white nationalists, no racists, no Nazis out there, and they weren't out there the entire time. But the text message was specifically aimed at putting everybody on edge, getting everybody all riled up. So, if you have groups of people clearly like trying to rile up racism, trying to get people angry at each other based on skin color, you're going to get a lot of violence. You're going to get a lot of complete chaos. You're going to get people being attacked for no other reason than their race or their color. And I don't think we should feed into that from either side. I think the black community has to be very careful about it. I think the white community has to be very careful about it. And the fact that now it has become acceptable to attack white males as racist and sexist without having said a thing, just their viewpoint is immediately racist and sexist, I think is racist and sexist. Who gives a shit what your color is? Who gives a shit what your skin color is? Who cares what's between your legs? Who cares about that? It's either a good idea or a bad idea. That's it. That's as far as it should go. And this guy was promoting peace and understanding and got immediately attacked from a racist level. And I don't think that's okay. I think we need to stop that. We need to force this issue. And that's why one of the reasons I really like working with David R. Lowry. Or David L. Lowry, excuse me. I don't know where the R came from. But David Lowry Jr., he invited our organization. He's working on in Minneapolis next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, actually. What is that? The 7th, I think. No, must be like the 5th or the 6th, whatever day Saturday is. He's working on putting together groups of community organizers in the Black community, groups of opinion leaders, and he wants people from our organization there. I'm probably actually going to go out and be the representative there, because what he's trying to do is help squash the racism, the hate, the anger that is going on. And I think it's important right now to start coming together as patriots, as Americans, not divided by color, not divided by anything. And we need to stop calling things by racist names. We need to stop calling things from those slanted viewpoints. We need to start calling them just factually what they are. That was murder by a cop. Plain and simple. An American was murdered by a police officer. End of story. That's as far as it should have gone. And the reason that can happen in America today is because we give police too much power and too much control. We have moved into a nanny state where we want the police to take care of us at all times. We have given them the power to run our communities, to run our neighborhoods. We have given them the power that they are the only ones responsible for keeping this peaceful, for keeping this calm. They are the ones with the power to do that. We are not. We are not responsible. We are not in control, right? It's not my job to go out and meet my neighbor, to go talk to them, to say hi, to build relationships, to watch my community. It's not my job. It's their job. That's not their job. Their job is to come in when a crime has been perpetrated and to clean up the mess and to bring somebody who is resisting to a courthouse to be tried. That is their job. It is our job to prevent it. It is our job to take care of each other. It is our job to build the patriotic network that we need. And this is one of the things I'm working on right now, actually. One of the things we're working on right now is building a Patriot network, an AR2 Patriot network of people of all races and colors and religions and beliefs and backgrounds who are part of this thing, who are together, who believe in combining efforts as Americans. And we're going to build this nationally. We're putting in the groundwork over the next day or two, and then we're going to come out with what it is, what the plan is, how it's going to go. And we're going to be building it in every community, the Black communities, white communities, and the idea is not going to be to divide. The idea is going to be to come together and take care of each other. That is going to be the idea of it. Yes, there's probably going to be a separate organization in a Black-only community than there would be in a white-only community, because you need to take care of your community as part of it, but you also need to be part of the network of Americans, of patriots that are trying to make this country a better place and stop dividing it. So that's where we're going with this. And these riots are race-baited hate fests of destruction. That is all they are. And they're even saying that 80%, up to potentially 90% in some of these areas of people that are getting arrested are from out of state. They're being bussed in. There are ads on Indeed that I've been shown for protesters that'll get paid up to $200 an hour, depending on how extreme they are. So this is orchestrated. Like this is planned out, and this is being built. Like the hatred is being fueled. That this hatred is not normally there. Whites and blacks get along just fine until you start pouring gasoline on the fire. Until you start pouring. You start pouring, I don't know, whatever. There are wounds there, and those need to be handled. Those need to be fixed, mended, and they never properly have been. They've just kind of been like ignored. And I'm not saying reparations need to be made, but they need to be handled, right? They need to be handled definitively and properly so that they actually go away and they're not just open wounds. that, somebody can just pick the scab off of. And that's what's going on now, is somebody's ripping the scab off, opening the wound, and purposefully, fueling this fire. That is what is happening 100%, and we need to prevent it. We, as Americans, not we, the white community, or the black community. I mean, all of us need to do it. In each of our communities, we need to squash this shit and call out racism wherever it is. I'm not happy with this, but I'm not going to join this destruction. So to say that I need to get as angry as you are, I'm sorry, but you're not even this angry. You're not even this angry. You're not angry enough to go burn buildings. That's not how that is. No. That is being fueled and fed and designed. That is being orchestrated. So don't tell me as a white man I'm not upset enough. Because where the hell were you when we were out there about our rights being taken away? Where were you? And we can play that game of, well, you weren't there when I needed you. I wasn't there when you needed me. It's stupid. Let's start coming together. Let's stop the racial divides. Let's stop the sexist divides. Let's stop the religious divides. Let's stop the political divides and start coming together as a real network of Americans who actually are going to make this place better. Who are actually going to do it. The riots are not going to do that. That's my problem with them. That's why I'm not on board. I would be out there if you were doing something useful, but you're not. So if that's the case, if you're not going to do something useful, something effective, something productive, well, I'm going to do something else that is. And when we decide to come together, then we can do something together that is helpful, that is productive, that actually changes the country for the better. Because if you think attacking physically a bunch of cops, if you think burning buildings, if you think burning cop cars, if you think getting arrested, if you think mass destruction is going to, if you think that is what's going to change things, then you're wrong. James White, I don't know who's busing them in. There's lots of speculation. What I do know is from the governor's mouths, 80% of the people that were arrested are from out of state, so they have to be being bussed in or flown in, whatever. I mean, the bussing people in is just a generic term for transported in. It's not necessarily like they had, hundreds of people on buses coming in. I think somebody would have noticed that. But they were put there from out of state in order to create the upset. So that would be the general idea. It's not necessarily a bus. I mean, I like I said, I would think somebody would have noticed. I mean, maybe not. Maybe nobody noticed. But they were sent in from out of state in order to cause chaos and cause destruction. So, but the general message is the same. Let's stop being ineffective. Let's stop being destructive, and let's start changing things for the better. Why don't we do that? Why don't we focus on that? Why don't we focus on building bridges instead of tearing them down? Why don't we focus on, making things better instead of making things worse? Why don't we focus on fixing the country instead of destroying it? People talking about the boogaloo at this point in time that want to come out and want to start total mass government overthrow. Where does that lead? Nowhere good. All mass government overthrow and total destruction leads to is that now we don't have any protection, we don't have any government, so we're open to foreign attack, and we end up with civil war, with millions of people dying, and none of that is good. None of that is good. So, opening our country up to the possibility of complete destruction is not a good thing. We do need to fix it. We need to get rid of career politicians. We need to get rid of lawyers who are corrupted and aren't trying to do justice. Judges who are corrupt. We need to get rid of all of these people who have made laws, made justice, made our lives a living nightmare from all of this. We need to get rid of them. And we need to get rid of everything that they've done for the last 200 some odd years. And we need to restore the Constitution, because in the Constitution, it does two things, right? All men are created equal. And the second thing is a more perfect union. Those are the two focus points of it. We need to focus on those two things and creating those two things. A more perfect union where all men are created equal. That if we just focused on that, if we focused on returning to that, like not a time and place, because there has been no time and place where it actually has occurred. But if we return to those documents and actually create for the first time that time and place, then we would be good. Then we would have a good country for the first time. I don't think we need to make America great again. America has been seen as the greatest country in the world for a period of time. But I don't even think in those times it was perfect. I think there was plenty that could be improved upon. I think we can create it greater than it ever has been before. If we just focused on that, if we just fought for that, and to fight for that, we have to fight together. And we can't be divided. We can't be separated on it. We have to come together. So, guys, that's my message. Stop the riots. Stop the race baiting. Stop focusing on some ridiculous race issue about things. Let's call it what it is. Corruption, what's a good word for it? Uncaused, unprovoked violence for no reason. That's what we need to go against. An overreach of power. We need to destroy all of those things. Those are the bad things, right? But we can't just destroy everything to destroy those. Like, you don't, old saying, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to destroy the country to make it great again. Or to make it great for the first time. Whatever. You want to make the America great. You don't do it by burning it to the ground. That's not what's going to do it. You do it by getting these crooked-ass people out of their positions of power and returning the power back to us, the people. Not white people, not black people, all people, American people. That's how you do it. When Americans have a voice and we stand behind the Constitution, we stand behind the constitutional republic that we are, then everybody has a chance. Then we have a more perfect union where all people are created equal. Everybody has life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If we go to that, go to what the founding documents said, what the doctrine said, not what was enacted. Don't get off on that tangent. Let's do it for the first time. Why don't we set that challenge? Why don't we put that idea out there? Create a great country. Let's do that. Forget Trump. It's not about Trump. It's not about Biden. It's about us. It's not about who your governor is. It's not about the police. It's about us. Let's put it back to us. Together, combined, as one voice, together speaking out against corruption and unprovocated violence. Unprovocated destruction of civil liberties. Let's make it about that again. That's what I have to say, guys. Let's come together and remove all. Yeah, exactly, Grant. Great. Remove all the bad eggs, because there's not just bad eggs in the white community. There's bad eggs in the black community. There's bad eggs in the Asian community. Bad eggs in the Indian community. Whatever. There's bad eggs in any group. Why don't we root them out and let's handle them? Let's not focus on whether they're white or black or whatever. Let's focus on the fact that they're just bad. I know, Shanda. Shanda Russell. The people doing the rioting aren't the ones listening to people like you, Josh. I know. But that's why I'm reaching out to many communities and why we need to share messages like this so much, why we need to focus on getting word out there, why we need to stop all of this all the time, is so that we actually can get this message out there so that other people can hear it. People like John Anthony, people like David Lowery Jr. going into their own community and telling people to stop it. So we need to do that. We need to reach out to as many people of every color, every belief, all across America. We need to build a patriot network. And that's what we're going for here. That's what we're going to be coming out with shortly is the organization for the Patriot Network. And I hope people will join in and become part of it and help spread it. So that's our word. That's the word for today, and that's where we're going, guys. Start reaching out. Start making connections with everybody and anybody. Start getting involved. If you haven't already, get off the couch, get off the keyboard, start talking to people in person. That's what we need to do. That's where we need to go. All right, guys. Have a good night.